We're seeking some explanation, so we hope that you can clear the doubts and the confusion for us. But also joining us this morning is the MP for Tamale Central, Comrade Murtala Mohammed. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Well, I can be okay because of the happenings in Parliament yesterday, and unfortunately our democracy has gone bananas under the leadership of a president who touted himself as, you know, human rights lawyer, someone who cherishes and values democratic principles. Unfortunately, under his watch, he is not only aiding, but he's influencing the destruction of the democratic governance and systems that we have.
That's unfair to say. I mean, why would he deliberately do that?
There is no denying the fact that everything that happens in this country is spearheaded by him. There is no question at all about that. If you know the relationship that exists between the majority leader, Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, and the government, there's no way the president wouldn't have been in the known of the misconduct of our colleagues in Parliament.
I'll let you hold on. I'll let you hold on with that. I mean, for those of you who missed what ensued in Parliament yesterday, in fact, all of this started from the 17th of November when the Finance Minister, Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta, came to Parliament to read the 2022 budget statement. And in there, there were some concerns that were raised and some introductions that would be implemented if the budget is approved. One of them, and very topical, is e-levy. Now, fast forward, last Friday, minority in Parliament voted against the budget, and we saw the majority stage a walkout just before that voting took place. And majority came out later and said that it was an unconstitutional rejection. And so as it stood at that point, the budget had not been rejected, neither had it been approved. And so they were very sure that yesterday, which was Tuesday, they would approve the budget. Yesterday, we saw a no-show for the minority in Parliament. And the Speaker, by the way, is in Dubai for health checks. And so the first Deputy Speaker in Parliament, Honorable Joe Osei Owusu, had to sit in and preside over proceedings on the floor of Parliament. But interestingly, the majority says they had 138 members in Parliament as per the law. And so they went ahead to pass the budget. Take a look at that, and we'll also take a look at Honorable Haruna Idrisu, the minority leader, respond to what ensued in Parliament.
I come under Order 51 to move that you, the Honourable Speaker, properly propose for determination the question on the motion moved by the Minister of Finance on behalf of His Excellency the President on Wednesday, November 17, 2021, in respect of the budget statement and economic policy of government for the year ending 31st December 2022. As I've argued, what happened that day is a nullity because it does not meet the test established under Article 104(1).
The number presented to me by the clerks at table is 137 of you plus me, MP for Bekwai, 138. The vote of the majority of members present and voting, with at least half of all the members of Parliament present. What it means is that before you take a decision, there must be at least a majority of all members present. With me, we have 138 members. That's a majority. It doesn't mean that all the 138 must vote yes or no. A majority of this 138, their decision will carry the day. Honourable members, the motion that was moved by the Honourable Minister and have been debated is now ready for a decision to be taken. We have already determined that the appropriate numbers are in the chamber, and therefore the House stands ready to take a decision. Now I'll put the question. All in favor of the House adopting the resolution moved by the Honourable Minister for Finance, say aye. Aye. All against, say no. The ayes have it. The motion House has adopted the financial.
If they claim that they respect the Constitution, they must respect the fact that today's decision is a constitutional nullity because the Deputy Speaker has no original nor casting vote. Nothing more. And therefore, they were at best 137.
And those were happenings in Parliament yesterday, of course. Honorable Haruna Idris addressing the press yesterday. And in fact, he specifically stated, and I'll just read what he says. He says, "Today, I'm particularly disappointed in the conduct of the first Deputy Speaker, having included himself in the exercise to vote. He should be reminded of Standing Order 109 on voting in the House. And 1092 says the Speaker shall have neither an original or casting vote." Yesterday, of course, Honorable Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah says that he did not cast a vote, which is the Speaker at the point did not cast a vote. But however, he indicated that per Constitution 92-104, he was a member, even though he presided as Speaker. Very confusing moments there. And the minority are saying that, in fact, this is a flagrant disregard of the same Constitution that you used against them when they also on Friday rejected the budget. What do you say?
Well, Bella, let me say a very good morning to you once again and to my very good friend Mutala. First and foremost, let me indicate that the Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honourable Aban Babin, on Friday when he led the House on an unconstitutional path in rejecting the budget that has been presented to the House of Parliament by the Finance Minister, was one that was an unheeded decision on his part. I'm choosing my words very carefully because I do not understand how a man who has been in the House for about 29 years would go on this tangent and mislead the people of Ghana.
Mislead?
Absolutely. He misled
How did
them.
he mislead?
Because at the time that he made that decision of supporting the minority in the House and supposedly rejecting the budget,
he did not support them.
What
He only played his role as a speaker, did he not?
But he has been in the House for about 29 years. He shouldn't have supported such an illegality. I am saying that you needed a certain amount of people in the House at the time that you made that decision. And see, anyone who advised the Speaker of Parliament at the time, that is Honourable Aban Babin, to have depended on Article 102 of the 1992 Constitution, misled him.
How so?
There is a clear distinction between Article 102 of the 1992 Constitution and 104.1.
102, by the way, says a quorum of Parliament, apart from the person presiding, shall be 1/3 of all the members of Parliament.
Absolutely.
And you're saying that him standing on this was wrong?
Yes, he depended on Article 102. Because if you read Article 104, one thing that all of us will have to understand is that the Constitution takes precedence over any other enactment or laws in this country. And so if Article 104 is very specific about the time that voting is supposed to be done, at the time that voting is supposed to be done, you need a certain number present in the House. I may have to go over the Article 104, especially for those who have not averted their minds to.
If you've not found it, I have it here. I could help you.
104.
Which one exactly? Should I start from 1?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so 104.1 says, except as otherwise provided in this Constitution, matters in Parliament shall be determined by the votes of the majority of members present and voting, with at least half of all the members of Parliament present.
With at least half of all the members of Parliament present. If you go and check the standing orders of Parliament, you will clearly see that Order 109 was lifted in extenso from Article 104 of the 1992 Constitution. And if you read Order 109, it says that no question, for decision 109(1) of the Standing Orders of Parliament. No question for decision in the House shall be proposed for determination unless they are present in the House, not less than 1/2 of all the members of the House, and except otherwise provided in the Constitution, the question proposed shall be determined by the majority of the votes of the members present. The Right Honourable Speaker Alban Bagbin defined what majority or less than 1/2 of the members of Parliament defined what it is in 2015. If you go and check the 22nd of December 2015 Hansard, when he was debating on the floor of Parliament as a majority leader, he said that you needed 138
in the Parliament of Parliament.
In the Parliament House before you can make any decision. That is a sharp contradiction to what he himself did on Friday when he relied on the quorum, that is Article 102 of the 1992 Constitution. You cannot approbate and reprobate at the same time. In 2015, you say that I'm relying on Article 104, but in 2021, you rely on Article 102. That distinction will have to be very clear. Now, anybody who says that the first Deputy Speaker could not have counted himself as part of the 138 is wrong, does not understand what the Constitution and the framers of the Constitution actually in 1992 when they were putting this together, does not understand. Because I'll tell you why. See, Joe Wise is a member of Parliament first and foremost. He represents the people of Bekwai. His people needs his representation in the House. The Constitution of the Republic is very clear when he talks about who a Speaker of Parliament is. Very clear when he talks about who a first Deputy Speaker and a second Deputy Speaker is. You need to be a member of Parliament first before you can be a first Deputy Speaker or a second Deputy Speaker of Parliament. And so, the fact that you do not have an original casting vote when such decisions are supposed to be made does not take away your representative mandate from you as a member of Parliament when such decisions are supposed to be made. We should understand that distinction very clear.
But hold on. So yesterday, Honorable Muttaka quoted Article 110 of the 92 Constitution, and we could go there. And it says that Parliament may, subject to the provision of the Constitution, Parliament may, by standing orders, regulate its own procedure. And then Order 7, Order 8, Standing Order 108, pardon me. Any speaker or any member that presides over, the activities in Parliament shall not retain his original vote. So he's saying that how do you then say, hold on,
about vote
I'm coming to that. Now, Article 104 says that majority of the members present and voting, not present or voting. So if you're present and you are voting, then that is what is counted. But then you seem to be separating present and separating voting. So you're saying that he was present, all right, but he could not vote.
Absolutely.
And that's what they're saying, that you cannot separate the two. We have present and voting.
When you go to
it's not present and or voting.
No, hold on. There's a clear distinction between you being a member of Parliament and also assuming or electing to be the first Deputy Speaker of the House. I am contending to you that the fact that he assumed the position of a first Deputy Speaker of Parliament does not take his representative mandate from him as a member of Parliament for the good people of the
But if the law says present and voting?
Hold on, I'm just saying that if you check Article 104, Article 104, let me read from the standing order, that is 109.
Okay.
If you read from the standing orders 109, I may have to read that again. 109.
109 what?
1091.
Which is what you read earlier.
No question. For decision in the House shall be proposed for determination unless they are present in the House, not less than 1/2 of all the members of the House, and except otherwise provided in the Constitution. The question proposed shall be determined by the majority of the votes of members present. Now, you have to read this in conjunction with, let me have the Constitution, in conjunction with Article 102. Not Article 102,
the quorum?
Yes, the quorum.
Okay.
102 states that a quorum of Parliament, apart from the person presiding, shall be 1/3 of all the members of Parliament.
Apart from the person.
Apart from the
shall
person.
Be 1/3.
Shall be 1/3. That is for quorum. But if you go and read the 104, it says that at the time that a decision is supposed to be made, the members that is supposed to be in the House should be not less than 1/2 of the members. And I have told you that in 2015, the definition of less than 1/2 was defined by Alban Babin himself, as the majority leader. And at the time, your own speaker, Do Ajaho, clearly made us understand what quorum and at the time of voting means. That distinction is very clear. Do Ajaho said that the quorum that is needed to do business in the House is 1/3. No doubt about that. And that is supported by Article 102.
Okay.
The time that you also need to also pass a decision, it is also very clear under Article 104. And I'm contending to you that the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament is a member of Parliament before any other thing. There is no law that suggests that the fact that he is assuming the position of a speaker as per the standing orders of Parliament, which is 13.1, that in the absence of the speaker, the first Deputy Speaker elects to act in his stead.
Yeah.
That does not mean that he is no more a member of Parliament.
But he could not vote.
He could not vote.
So as
That
of
is agreed.
yesterday, only 137 members voted in Parliament.
And you see,
And that is not majority.
No, hold on.
So why do you want to separate membership from voting?
Hold on. Read the 104 very well. The 104 says that you need the majority of the votes of the members that is present.
And voting.
And voting. So what it means is that when you have the majority, when you have the 1/2, which is the 138, even 70 of us, or 70 of that 138 is majority.
That is how you interpret it now?
That is not what I am interpreting. That is what the law says. The law. No, hold on. 104. Maybe I may have to read it again. And when I read it, if not for mischief from my brother Mutala.
Okay.
The 104. Let's read it again. Except as otherwise provided in this Constitution, matters in Parliament shall be determined by the votes of the majority of members present and voting, with at least half of all the members of Parliament present.
Majority of?
Yes. And that is the 138. Okay?
No, but as said yesterday, you had only 137 people voting. You're saying that...
No, hold on.
You land on this, let me bring Comrade in, because...
You are getting it all wrong.
I'm getting it wrong?
Absolutely. Hold on. The Standing Orders of Parliament 109. No question for decision in the House shall be proposed for determination unless they are present in the House, not less than 1/2 of all the members of the House, and except otherwise provided in the Constitution. The question proposed shall be determined by the majority of the votes. The majority of the votes. So, the majority of the votes will mean that out of the 138 members that were present in the House, which forms the right number as required by the 1992 Constitution, that is Article 104, majority of that number, when they vote, will mean that the House has actually made a decision. And this is what Do Ajaho said, and it is not me. Do Ajaho has actually corroborated this point.
This is very confusing, honestly.
Why is it
but
confusing?
you let me bring Comrade in to respond to this.
Before you bring him in.
Because now you're taking us on a different tangent altogether.
No, I am not. Before you bring him in, let me read what Do Ajaho said. I am reading what Do Ajaho said in 2015. And it was very instructive when he had the opportunity to draw the distinction between the 138 being the requirement before you can make a decision.
Okay.
This is what Do Ajaho said. There is a quorum to do business, and that is 1/3 of the House, and there is quorum to take a decision. So, we need to draw a distinction between the quorum to do business and the quorum to take a decision. the quorum to take a decision is regulated by Article 1041. And the fundamental question is that the time that the vote was taken, this is Do Ajahu, the time that the vote was taken, did we have at least half of the honorable members present? It is a constitutional issue which has been captured in the Standing Order 1091 of our standing orders. If you go by the results of the head count by adding at the time, that is 67 to 66, we will get 133, which means that you did not form the quorum to make a decision. Therefore, there is a serious constitutional issue there. So at the time that the votes were taken, this House lacked the legal, in fact, the constitutional capacity to take a decision.
Okay.
So I entirely endorse the position taken by the first Deputy Speaker that we do not have the number, constitutionally speaking, to take a decision.
Okay.
So clearly, you just needed the majority out of the members that were present, which formed the quorum to be able to make a decision.
This is new to me, but let me bring Comrade in to respond to this, because I mean, now we're separating members and voting. And, you know, yesterday I also listened to Honorable John Nkrumah, and he said that, by the way, the first Deputy Speaker, when he acted in the stead of Speaker, did not vote anyway. But then when it comes to members, per the law, he's still a member of the Parliament. And so that's constituted majority, which gave them that leeway to go ahead and approve the budget.
Bella, good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to my good friend. He has been a very good friend of mine and one of the really fair individuals you can find within the NPP. Unfortunately, politics has succeeded in destroying his fair-mindedness, more so on this particular issue. You see, to be ignorant of what happened before you were born, then you remain always a child. And my brother demonstrated that, yes, he is not ignorant of what happened before he went into Parliament. And that is why he, with alacrity, quoted the position of Right Honorable Do Ajahu. Unfortunately, and rather, you know, mischievously, he decided to ignore equal position taken by Right Honorable Professor Mike Okwi, who also pronounced that a decision that is taken by the House in the absence of another, caucus, in the case of walkout, that decision certainly will be binding. I thought that you would have told the people of this country the truth, but it's understandable. You may not be aware of what happened recently, yet you are aware of what happened under Right Honorable Do.
But he was in Parliament. How would he not know what happened recently?
And that is even the shocker, that what happened under Do Ajahu, he wasn't in Parliament. Mind you, Do Ajahu came before Right Honorable Professor Mike Okwi.
But we all refer to something that has happened in the past, and we
so that is why I'm saying that he quoted what happened before he came into Parliament and decided to ignore what happened under Professor Mike Okwi. You know, the MPP, they are behaving like a spoiled child who is willing to destroy the cake rather than share the cake.
How
and,
so?
And you would see that in all the pronouncement. Let me begin by explaining why we're not in the chamber. It is critical. Every single prediction we made happened.
Which way?
You see, let's look at what happened on Friday. And this attempt to attack the integrity of Right Honorable Bagbin will never be allowed to stand. And we are serving notice to the NPP that we will resist any attempt to undermine the authority of Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Bagbin. We will resist any attempt to do that. And this attack on the integrity of Right Honorable Speaker is spearheaded by no less a person than the leader of the majority caucus, Honorable Chairman.
That's an allegation you cannot prove.
Why? He had a press conference on the very day we had the rejection of this budget and lied to the people of this country.
What did
he said
say?
that their information is that 2 members of the NDC group in Parliament were not present. And this is a leader of a house who is speaking that way, without a scintilla of evidence. As a matter of fact, when the Speaker asked that members should be counted, he asked 4 clerks of Parliament. By the way, almost all of them were appointed under the NPP in government. These 4 clerks all presented 137 number or figure to the speaker. Yet you have Chairman Sabonsu, who without any shame held a press conference and said the information they have is that 2 members from the NDC group were not there when the counting was done. He questioned the integrity of the clerks, questioned the integrity of the speaker, and questioned the integrity of parliament. And this person is a leader in that house. But I would come to the issues he raised, and those issues ought to be looked at for the avoidance of doubts. When he was quoting 102, and he made reference to what Right Honorable Do Ajo said, I thought he was defeating himself, and that move is a slap on the face of objectivity and what we are discussing here. The 102 is talking about quorum. It has nothing to do with the decision taken. Now, I don't want to go on the issues of what Article 102 or what Standing Order 109, even though I'll come to that. But we are all rational beings. The laws we have in this country, whether the Constitution or the standing orders that regulates the conduct of business in Parliament, are laws that are born out of rationality. Now, Parliament cannot proceed to do any business without the Speaker having a seat. Are you denying that? You can't proceed to do any work except that the Speaker is on his or her seat.
Okay.
So if the Speaker doesn't sit on his or her seat, you can't have Parliament proceedings going. So even if you go to Parliament and the Speaker hasn't come, we're all in our offices, or you sit at the coffee shop where he likes sitting anyway, taking coffee with me. You sit there until the bell is rung.
Yeah.
And then the Speaker comes in. By the time the Speaker comes in, you are all seated. So at the time, right, Joe Osei-Usu, it's not every Joe who is wise anyway.
No,
I'm saying that it's not every Joe.
That's a low blow.
I say it's not every Joe.
No, that's a low blow.
If I say it's not every Mutala who is wise, okay, it's not every.
Anybody.
Have I disrespected him?
It's a form of a denigration.
No, have I disrespected him?
It's a direct attack.
How did I attack him? If I say it's not every Bella, it's not every Mutala who is wise. What's wrong with that?
So are you saying in his case he is wise?
I'm not talking about him. I'm saying that it's not every Joe
but
who's
you're playing
wise.
on his name.
Everybody
knows him as Joe Wise.
You see the why? Is the Wise his name?
But everybody calls him that.
I don't call him that.
Carry on.
So I'm saying that at the time Honorable the first Deputy Speaker was seated, he was the Speaker. And without his sitting there, you could not commence business in the House.
So he was seated, but where was the minority?
At the time he was seated, I'll come to the issue of the... At the time he was seated, he was the Speaker. He was not there in his capacity as just a member of Parliament. If you want to go by his logic, then any other member could have taken that seat. No. Why is it that that particular seat, in the absence of the Speaker, can only be taken by 2 people in Parliament? The first Deputy Speaker and the second Deputy.
But they do not lose their membership, even if they assume that position, do they?
Nobody said he lost his membership.
Okay.
I'm going by his logic. I am the logic of him and the logic of the first Deputy Speaker. You cannot commence business in the House without the Speaker sitting on his chair. Go and read Order 902. He intelligently read Order 901. But you realize that in all his submission, he never read Order 902. Give me the order paper, the standing order, then I will read that. When he took the paper, he read Order 901. But
is it 109 you mean? 109?
91 or
91.
91, okay.
He refused to read Order 90 and I'm
92,
coming.
okay.
Good, 92. You see, if you read Order 991, no, 901. Sorry.
You see, if you don't read your Bible, that's how you find it very difficult.
Well, unfortunately,
I bailed you at a point when you were looking for it. I had to read. I had to read for you. So is it not the same thing?
You see, Nkrumah described them. The MPP.
He described them as well.
Nkrumah described them.
Let's not digress.
No, I'm saying what Nkrumah, for the purposes of what he said, that they are people with narrow intellectual and political horizons, but they always see themselves as the leading stars. I'm not talking about me. It's Nkrumah's words. You can fight with Nkrumah's words, not my words. So he can say that, yes, I don't want to pretend to know everything. That's why I have to read, so that I don't cause the blunder that you people
have you found
cause.
it now?
If you read Order 109, what he read repeatedly was Order 101. Now, Order 1091, because remember when he said 109, I asked him,
is it 1 or 2?
Good. And he said repeatedly he was reading 1. But he should have read Order 1092. Order 1092 states, Mr. Speaker shall have neither an original nor casting vote. And if upon any question before the House, the votes are equally divided, the motion shall be lost. Come and read Order 1093. Also states that a deputy speaker or any other member presiding shall not retain his original vote while presiding.
That is right.
But that's vote.
That's right.
Hold on.
Okay.
That's why I began by.
That's why I
began. Easy,
no.
easy.
That's why I began. I listen to you. That's why I began by saying that without the speaker sitting on the seat, proceedings and business of the House cannot take place.
Okay.
At the time Honorable Joe Osei-Wusu was sitting there, he sees at that material moment to be in that chamber as a member of Parliament, but as a Speaker of Parliament.
He sees it to be member of Parliament.
At that material moment, because you see, the purpose of a member of Parliament, of a Speaker, is to be neutral and supervise the business of Parliament without any difficulty or biases. Now, at the time he was sitting there, he was not just a member of Parliament. He was the Speaker, because Article 1091, 1092 supports this claim.
Okay.
Now, if you tell me that he could count himself as a member of Parliament, because you remember when they did the counting, he said, including me, the MP for Bekwai. Then anybody could have taken that seat.
No,
but that particular position is limited to only 2 people, himself and the second deputy.
But that's what I'm saying, that so he does not lose his membership position.
No, he's still a member of Parliament. But
exactly.
I'm saying that at that material moment, any decision that is to be taken in Parliament by members of Parliament excludes him.
So he should not have counted himself.
Absolutely. Any decision that should be taken in Parliament by members of Parliament excludes him, because he was there as a speaker at that material moment. And what was the decision taken by Parliament? The decision that was taken by Parliament at that material moment was to determine the number of members of Parliament present. Now, if you want, you cannot be both. You cannot be there as a member of Parliament and at the same time as a speaker.
He was acting in the stead of the speaker.
So if you are acting, and the standing orders are very clear. The standing order 1093 says that when you are acting as a speaker, you lose every right that is given to any member of Parliament. That
it says you lose your vote.
That's what I'm saying. If, apart from even vote, you can't even engage in debate. You can't even engage in debate. He's a member of the NPP. When he's sitting there as the speaker, he can't even engage in a debate.
Okay.
When NPP takes a position in Parliament on a matter, he cannot engage in it. Why can't he engage in it? He's a member of Parliament representing a political party in Parliament in a constituency. That is the reason why when we are filing our nomination, we don't file. It's the political parties that files the nomination for us. So if you have a problem with the party and you are sacked from that party, you cease to be a member of Parliament. But the standing orders are very clear that at the time you are sitting on the chair of the speaker, you cannot say you are MPP, and therefore, when MPP members of Parliament are debating on a particular line, you can't participate in that debate. He did not debate,
he did not vote. We understand.
But any decision,
he was a member.
Any decision.
If the minority was aware of this and they knew that the first deputy speaker in this case was going to be in the stead of the speaker, and so he loses his membership at that moment,
we would have been
and
there.
Vote. Why were you not there? Because you know that it's 137, 137. And the law says that if you have an equal vote, then it defeats whatever
I
it
will
is. So
answer that, but I
wanted
wanted to dismantle the falsehood that my brother with alacrity presented this morning.
I've heard lawyer Kasati say, however, that even though he was still acting as speaker, he's still seen as a member.
I am saying that why is it that he is barred from debating? Why is he barred from debating? Why is it that he can engage in any debate? Even if we are debating to remove the president, he cannot participate in this debate. Even if he is the most wise person from the NPP and he has every reason to defend the interests of the government, his position as the acting speaker at that time bars him from engaging in a debate. Okay. What kind of interpretation is this? I'm saying that he was barred from engaging in anything. And at that material moment, a decision was going to be taken to determine the number of MPP members in Parliament for the purposes of engaging in an illegality. That is rejecting a budget that was properly indeed rejected. the decision of rejection of the budget. That
what you're saying is he was not a member.
He wasn't
at that point.
He
So
could
then,
not be acting.
minority should have been in parliament.
Fantastic. I'll tell you why. You see, we had meetings yesterday in the morning, and the people of this country must understand. The NDC is not just criticizing. You, the MPP caucus, said they wanted to engage us. That was the day before, on Monday. Our members were there around 2 o'clock. They were called to the citadel of corruption, the Flagstaff House. The Flagstaff House.
How do you call that?
It's the citadel of corruption. Who doesn't know that except you? Maybe perhaps you are also pretending. You know
I'm
that
not
every
pretending,
corrupt
but
act
how do you call the Flagstaff House
that is the seat everybody knows. That is the citadel of corruption. You know, they were called to the citadel of corruption. They were there from 2 o'clock. The NDC group were waiting up to 6 o'clock. They called and said that they should have the meeting at 8. And our people says, no, we can't have any
8
meeting.
PM.
Yes. 4 hours. We said we can't have. So they wanted 2 additional hours, making it 6. And he said, no, we've been here at 2 o'clock. We can't wait up to 4. I want the people of this country to understand. Now, they agreed to reschedule the meeting the following day, 8 in the morning. We were there at Job 600 in the auditorium. They also had their caucus meetings. Our leaders represented us in the discussion. Some members were selected for the purposes of the meeting. They also selected some members, including the National Security Minister. You had our General Secretary who was there and then. So they had this meeting. They made some proposals. They will drop Ajapa, they will drop other things. And the vexed issue of the e-levy. Our leadership position was that we will not accept the e-levy because that has been the concern of not just the NDC, but everybody in this country, including ISA. Tell me one single civil society organization, think tank that supports your position.
ISA said 0.5.
0.5, and they didn't even stop there. They said it's regressive. There are instruments of taxation. It's a regressive system of tax. And I said that, considering the hole in which these people have sunk the economy of this country, yes, let's just give them that. So the NDC position was that, then let's adhere, the leadership, even without discussing that with us. And for the purposes of wanting people to understand that we meant well, look, if you can look at the suggestion of ISA so that we can communicate this to our members. Our leadership, they agreed that our leadership should go and meet our caucus, and then they also meet their caucus. Our leadership came and met us and told us the things they were willing to take off.
Which was?
Ajapa was one, that fraudulent Ajapa, which is seeking the wealth for a particular family in this country. So
those same 5 conditions that she said?
Yes, they agreed. But then on the issue of the e-levy, some of us said, look, we will not accept e-levy in any form or any shape. But our leadership made us understand that, look, these are some of, we understand, we want to help government to govern. Now, the leadership then went back to meet them. And then the discussion broke down. They were still insistent that they would have the 1.75 and that the lowest they can come is 1.5%, which doesn't make sense even to some of them. And I know privately he will tell you that it doesn't make sense, but of course he sits here, he would defend it.
Why would he say that privately? But so let's agree on this.
So when that thing happened,
minority wanted a review from what, 1.75 to 0.5?
Our position was that initially, this was the proposal they made. When they came, our leadership came to court, no, we will not accept
at all.
e-levy in any form. But our leadership were willing. We're willing for the good of this country and for the economy to run, to make some overtures. Because you see, Mandela says that if you are not willing to shift your position, you don't go to the negotiation table. When they went, they were still insisting that they will do nothing with regards to the e-levy. And since the e-levy has been the vex issue, for which reason everybody is angry with this budget, we said, okay, if that is the case, then we will not agree. We picked information that they were going to do exactly what they did and what they were expecting us to do. They wanted us to come to the chamber to legitimize this illegality they did yesterday.
How so?
Good. If you take the standing orders, by the way, when they held the press conference, they said that what we did on Friday was illegal by the same majority leader who is not truthful, yet they went in there and they approved the
people are watching. I mean,
yes.
I mean, if you say he's not truthful as well,
why would a majority leader say
it's not
Bella? You see, why would he say that 2 of our members were not there?
Why would? And based on that, you're calling him untruthful.
But was he truthful in this matter? Was he being truthful? He said 2 members were not there. When 4 clerks counted us and were 137, the speaker reported, yet only the majority leader said that we were not even up to the number. Now, how would you tell me that something that was done, which you describe as illegal, yet you went there, they approved the vote and proceedings of 26th? Why would you approve something that is illegal? They approved, they adopted and approved the vote and proceedings on 26th. So what they wanted us to do, and check the vote and proceedings. 274 members signed, including him. He signed, he was present. Now, what is the half of 274? What is the half of 274?
Are you asking me?
Is it not 137?
0.5.
Now, I'm saying that 274.
Okay, yes, that's 137.
Are you getting what I'm saying? So what it simply means is that we took a decision that was legal. We took a decision. We have been vindicated by the records in the votes and proceedings of 26th of November, which clearly states that the only member of parliament who was not present and never signed was Honorable Joseph. So if you want to argue that the decision we took on that day was illegal, then you are wrong, because the vote and proceedings. By the way, even if you have a problem with the votes and proceedings of 26th of November, why would you approve that? It was adopted, approved and adopted.
But
you see,
it said that
they wanted us to give them the
at
same
least
legitimacy.
half of all the members of parliament present.
That's what I'm saying.
Is it about present in the chamber at the time the vote is taking place, or are we looking at the logbook and the fact that...
First and foremost, per the records in the votes and proceedings, we're all present in the chamber. So even if we want to stretch it, whether out of the chamber,
but they stage the walkout
I'm saying
before
that,
the vote.
No, but you see, we had 274. So whether they walked out or not, we would have fulfilled this particular requirements.
But they weren't there.
I'm saying that we would have fulfilled this particular requirement.
Okay.
Because half of 274 is 137.
Which is why the minority did not go into parliament this time around, because they were going to use the same tactics.
No. What they wanted to do.
I'll bring you in soon.
We picked information, and true to that information, it happened. Honorable Joe Osei-Wusu, was not going to give a listening ear to any of us. And in fact, if we were present, they were not going to even do the counting, the voting.
How?
You see, the Constitution says, the standing order says that in approval of a budget, you do it through the voice approval.
Yeah.
And the moment he says, you say, yeah, it doesn't matter how many people, the only option would have been that we would have called for either division or head count, something they called and ran away, and he won't listen. And true to that, it happened. And you see, the only option that was going to be left to the NDC caucus and panel was to fight. And we felt that we didn't need to do that. And the only way we're going to stop that was to either stop the speaker, and that Ghanaians wouldn't be happy, because we don't need to degenerate to that level.
Would it have only been by a voice vote, or could you have used another means of voting?
If the speaker would have to, get the attention of the speaker for you to be called. There's a video going around. You saw what happened between Honorable Mutaka and Professor Makokwe.
Yeah.
And in their meeting, they discussed they were going to do exactly the same. And if our leadership stood to speak and the speaker refuses to call them, the only option left with us under that circumstance would be that we should attack and destroy everything.
Okay.
And is that what the people of this country want?
Let me bring Echo in. So at this point, I mean, what are we going to do? Because they're also now calling you out and saying that you have perpetrated illegality in Parliament, and so you were unconstitutional in your vote.
Bella, before I come there, I think that you have been an unfair host this morning.
How have I been unfair?
You have allowed him to attack personalities.
But I called him out for it, so you don't call me unfair. It's different if I didn't say anything about what he said. So if you want to attack, I'm not the one to attack. Carry on with your point, by the way.
You should have allowed him to retract the statement that he made.
Carry on.
No, I won't carry on.
I called him out, so I don't see why you're attacking me. And I've noticed that that's something that you people do.
Retract the statement that the Jubilee House is a citadel of corruption.
But I asked him about it.
Who doesn't know that corruption doesn't pertain?
So when I also sit on this platform
the chief executive of corruption in this country
lives there. Dramani Mahama, are we going to end this program?
You've attacked him several times.
Are we going to end this program?
You called him chief
in Parliament. So you can't tell me that I've been unfair.
You call him Jilo in Parliament. You can't take it.
It's not a fair statement to make that the Jubilee House is a citadel of corruption.
It is.
By whose standards?
Oh.
So you
are
here.
By whose standards?
You are
I'm
here.
asking you, by whose standards? Is it also true that in this country, we had Professor Mills investigating his own vice president?
Oh yeah, if you have the evidence, put it up.
Is it also true?
Oh, if you have
that
the
his
evidence.
His own president
if you have the evidence,
felt that he was the most corrupt person in this
if you have the evidence.
Can we be making all those statements on this platform?
If you have the evidence.
Can we?
Your special prosecutor, your special prosecutor described the president as the mother serpent for corruption. I didn't describe him that way.
And be attacking people.
I called him out for it, and so I don't know why you keep going on about this. But carry on.
12.2. The framers of this standing orders was very clear, and the anticipation was that Deputy Speaker shall be elected from among the members of Parliament.
Which standing orders are you reading?
This is standing order 12.2.
Okay.
That the Deputy Speaker shall be elected from among members of Parliament.
Okay.
Now he is talking about a supposed neutrality that has been anticipated by the Constitution and the standing orders, that the Speaker of Parliament, i.e. a first Deputy Speaker, when he assumes that chair, it is incumbent on you to exercise some amount of neutrality. These are his words.
No, that's what the standing order on the Constitution.
These are your words. But I'm saying that that has been taken care of by the Constitution and the standing orders by not allowing the Speaker at the time not to be having an original casting vote as a member of Parliament.
Not only that.
I have already told you. Hold on,
please.
I have already told you that.
Okay, fine. I'll let you speak.
You are a member of Parliament before any other thing. Your qualification as a first Deputy Speaker, your qualification as a majority leader, and your qualification as a Deputy Chief Whip or Chief Whip is because you are a member of Parliament. It's because you are representing a group of people. It cannot disqualify you from you being counted as a member of Parliament. And let me educate you again.
Please.
It is not proper. It is not proper for anybody to say that you needed 138 members in the House before 138 members in the House before you can make any statement. For that matter, if the first Deputy Speaker who is sitting at the time count himself as one of the 138, it is not right.
But you need half.
No, hold on. I am telling you, I'm contending that, Bella, the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament should not be denied his representation mandate with respect to the people of Bekwai.
So he should debate.
And that is why the orders, the standing orders, was very clear that if you can become a first Deputy Speaker, you need to be a member of Parliament first. Other than that, anybody at all could have been chosen outside the floor of Parliament to be a first Deputy Speaker. That is why the Constitution and the standing order says that.
When you assume the position of Speaker in Parliament, it says that you lose your vote.
But we are not talking about.
So if you're losing your vote, no, that's what I'm coming to the point.
Right.
If you're losing your vote, and clearly he read, 109, 1, 2, and 3, which also says that you don't only lose your vote, but you cannot even debate and all of that.
Yes.
So does it not mean that then you lose your membership?
I ask you a question.
I'm not answering questions here, by the way.
The Constitution and the standing orders is very clear. You lose your casting vote, and you don't also debate. Now, the people of Ghana can attest that yesterday what happened on the floor of Parliament. One, did Joe Wise involve himself in the debate? No. Did Joe Wise have a casting vote? No.
Hold on.
All that
hold on.
So 137
because
the
Constitution says that you don't have a casting vote. The standing orders of the Constitution again says that you cannot involve yourself in debate. Under no circumstance did Joe Wise involve himself in either of these constitutional requirements yesterday.
Rightly so.
All that he did, and which should be the subject of discussion, was that he counted himself as a member of Parliament. And the big question is Joe Wise a member of Parliament or not?
But at the time when he assumed position,
absolutely. That's what I'm saying. That the requirement says that you need to be a member of Parliament first before you can be a first Deputy Speaker.
But when you assume the position of Speaker at that point, that's what we're asking. We're trying to understand.
But you and I know that the Constitution and the standing orders was not clear as to whether
he constitutionally counted himself. So Lawyer Kasati has said that it was constitutional, by the way.
There's a popular constitutional maxim. There's a popular constitutional maxim that an express mention of anything will mean that it is exclusion of all others. The Constitution was very clear.
So why are you quoting this? Because it's affecting the position
you've
just taken.
An express position or an express mention of anything will mean that there's an exclusion of all other things.
Yes, so
the Constitution is very clear that if you're a first Deputy Speaker, you lose your casting vote.
Not only
You
that,
hold.
you lose your right to debate.
You lose your right to debate.
Yes.
Which these things he never did yesterday. So the fact that the constitution or the standing orders have not been clear as to whether he loses his membership. You and I cannot put any interpretation on it and say that he loses his membership.
Hold on, Comrade, please. Please. I
because,
gave you enough time to speak as well.
The constitution and the standing orders never contemplated the first deputy speaker and the second deputy speaker losing their membership as a member of parliament in the house. It's only contemplated that they can lose their vote, or they should lose their vote, and they cannot have any right to debate in the House of Parliament.
And you are saying that the majority of votes that you had was based on the 138 that were in Parliament yesterday.
The majority of the votes that we had was first and foremost because we formed the quorum to make a decision at the time.
But quorum, you need 92 or 93.
No, I'm not talking about quorum. I'm saying that quorum to make a decision. It is different from quorum to organize any proceeding.
Okay, can we allow Cookie to read messages quickly?
The quorum to take a decision as per 104 and 109 of the standing orders is that you need not less than one half. Which we had not less than one half there. But about 70 of that.
I'll come to you on the issue of the 1.7 that
you have made a decision.
Hold on, one person at a time, please.
No
Are you done? Please just speak for 30 seconds so we can go to
decision could have been taken without Parliament properly constituted and business began.
And Parliament was
please.
Parliament was properly.
I listen to you.
Allow him.
When I say
when you were speaking and he was interrupting, I asked him to stop.
No decision could have been taken in that house without Parliament properly sitting and business commencing. At the time business commenced, there was someone on the seat, and at the time he was on that seat, he ceased to just be a member of Parliament.
You made that
point. He was
point.
acting as a speaker. But if you want to go by the logic, he says that he was there. Now, the decision was taken by not Joe Wise, Honorable Joe Osei-Wusu. The decision was taken by 137 members of Parliament. These people, they are not principled. When we held the press conference, you challenged a decision that was taken by 137, and you describe it as illegal. Yet the same 137 can nullify what was considered as illegal anyway. Do you listen to yourself sometimes?
Okay. All right. Quickly, let's have Cookie read messages. I know a lot of them have been coming in. We've had Cookie standing for a while. Hello, Cookie.
Hi. Now, Bella, please read and ask both guests this for me. Gold money didn't help us. Cocoa money didn't help us. Bauxite, manganese, timber, crude oil, huge borrowing, all of that did not help us. What can Momo tax do? If we can eat a whole Antarctic blue whale and still not be satisfied, what can the kitty's hog nose but do? Ghanaians' problems are never taxes, revenue, or resources. It's the leaders who have misled us. Even if they take 100% tax on Momo, they will still misuse it without any prudent accounting to the citizens and come back. Patrice, East Airport sent in that one. Now, Ruby Fashions, Dichem soon near Golda Hotel, says victory has come. NDC is totally confused. They should stop making noise because they did nothing better for this country during the past 8 years. Regards to General Secretary John Boydu and Chairman Odenho Kweku appear. Good morning, Bella. We voted for the MPP government to solve our problems, but the MPP led by the President Nana Akufo-Addo's government itself has become a problem to be solved. Triddle sent in that one. Sofoya Musa in Kumbungu says NDC should understand that they cannot govern this country whilst in opposition. They should patiently wait when Ghanaians give them the mandate again. One day, they can write their own budget and take their decisions. Good morning, Bella. Now that the budget has been approved, no amount of lamenting will reverse it. So it is my prayer that the draconian taxes from the budget will yield some better results in the lives of the ordinary Ghanaians. Said Godfly from Kukrentumi sent in that one. Now, Bella, tell the first-time MP that he should read the Constitution well before he comes for the discussion, because immediately you assume the position of the Speaker, you cease or you resign your position as an MP. Though Ajaho was an MP, and as he became the Speaker, he resigned as an MP. Dennis Ankang sent in that one. You're looking great, Bella. Now, the youth of this country, especially the unemployed, should look beyond party colors when it comes to this budget matter. Neither members of the MPP nor the NDC are exempted from the taxes. We will all bear the brunt of the taxes. My name is Emirates Papa from Taifa. Are the legislators aware that Parliament is an institution of its own? Why is it that the majority side is always supporting the executive arm of government? We cannot move on as a nation with this kind of petty politics. And this one is coming from Akanya Raymond inside Chuchuliga. Now, good morning, Bella. God bless you for the good work you're doing for Mother Ghana. This MPP, okay, I cannot read that one. The words in there are strong. Good morning. Please, is it logical for the Deputy Speaker to overturn the ruling of the main speaker? Please educate me. I'm confused. Michael Osei is asking this morning. Last one says, I really love the Big Issue show every morning. Keep it up, Aiko. The MPPs are selfish people. They only do things that will benefit them, not considering the citizens. Hey, comrade, let me just finish before you ad-lib. Okay, you know what? It's okay. Since you're ad-libbing, I'll just leave it for you.
Well, let me just read a few messages. Hold on, please. So Husseini from Padama says, Bella, kindly ask Vincent if he was absent in the house. Is the chamber the same as the house? When they walked out of the chamber, did they log out of the house? Does Order 104 say a decision should be made with majority of members in the house or majority of members in the chamber? So how can you be in Parliament, move a motion, call for a division, and yet deem yourself absent? Let me balance this. Let me balance this with another message. This is from Akosia. She's in the office of the First Lady, by the way. Speaker has taken the chair in the absence of Mr. Speaker. He's always been recorded as part of members present in the chamber. This is well documented in all proceedings in Parliament. Echo, respond to that quickly. No, you responded to what he said.
No, you did. Yes, you did. Hold on, you did.
Hold on. Let him just respond to this. I'll give you time. Don't worry,
I think
please.
the confusion in the minds of some Ghanaians is that they are failing to understand that quorum in Parliament is different from at the time that a decision is supposed to be made. So you can
Ghanaians,
no, hold on. You can even come and sign your name. But when a decision is supposed to be made, the standing order says that members present at the time
and in voting.
At the time.
And in
hold on. Members present at the time
and
voting are the people
and voting
who
is not
can
compulsory.
make
You can be there and decide
a decision
not
at
to
the time. So you can come and sign your name on their attendance sheet. But when we are putting the question, or when the speaker is putting the question, and you are not present at the time, it means that you cannot be part of that vote. And remember, Alban Baben relied on Article 102 at the time. That was
okay, you've made that point already. Quick one before I come back to Comrade. Why did you not agree to the review to 0.5% or 1%?
I want to ask this question.
1%.
Can anybody, my brother Mutala and the tester, show to me in the Constitution which allows the first deputy speaker not to be counted as a member of Parliament? Not to be counted as a member of Parliament.
We keep going on the same point.
Assumes the position of first deputy
Point
speaker.
well
Because if you say that it is in the Constitution, I want to know.
I'll let you respond, Comrade. But quick question. So
know.
why did majority not accept the 0.5% review on the e-levy, or at most 1%?
Remember, on Friday, the first deputy speaker, the finance minister, came to the floor praying the House that we needed more time to make some engagement. And some of the engagements were about the review of the e-levy, the KETA, inclusion in the budget and all that. Yeah. I am sure that if the minority had heeded to the call of the finance minister, we would have made a lot of progress.
But they were ready to even deliberate. He says that you kept them waiting for so long.
To him.
Is it not true?
I was not part of that meeting. He is saying.
So you are not aware that he kept them waiting?
I was not part of the meeting.
Okay.
From what the first deputy speaker said yesterday, he said that from 9 a.m. till 2:30, they engaged the leadership of the House. And
that's what Honorable Haruna Idris is saying, that one of the proposals was that reduce or review the 1.75% to 0.5 or at most 1%. You didn't. They even said that they wanted you to increase the threshold from 100 Ghana cedis to about 500. Later, they even said 300 Ghana cedis, and you still did not budge.
And I'm saying that.
Is that true?
I am not part of the meeting. It's very difficult.
Very
difficult for me to.
So how are you defending all this then if you're not aware?
No, that is leadership meeting. I'm not a leader.
Oh,
did they not inform the members afterwards about this?
Hold on. I am not a leader.
Okay.
In the House.
Have you read things fall apart?
Hold on. I am not a leader. Okay?
Okay.
I was not part of that meeting.
So you are not aware of the threshold
I'm just saying
that they were asking for?
When the finance minister came to the House on Friday, he prayed the House that some consultations will have to be done.
The consultations
hold on. The consultations that are supposed to be done was when we prayed that they give us that enough time to be able to do proper
engagement. Let Comrade speak now, please.
the NDC members of parliament are not dumps. We are not idiots. You went into a meeting with leadership, and the speaker wanting to have a peaceful resolution to this matter. And look, discuss with the NDC caucus. Let's see, find a way forward. Then you agreed that you were going to look at some of the issues and further engage. Now you come to parliament, the speaker gave you the opportunity, then you are asking us to approve the budget and then engage. Does it make sense? When he rose, if he had said, look, I'm stepping down E-Levy, I'm stepping down AJAPA, I'm stepping down ABCD, and I'm stepping down with an extract, so that we would have been very clear in our mind. We are approving this budget, insulating ABCD, so that it would have been captured. He didn't do that. He said he was going to engage. Why do you think the NDC should badge for that? But you see, it is very important for them to understand. And I've seen that their food soldiers are happy. What happened yesterday, assuming without admitting that what they did yesterday will stand, even though it was nothing but an illegality, that constitutes about 20% of the entire budget. What is critical is the estimates, the appropriation. Every committee in parliament will have equal numbers. Every committee in parliament. I'm saying that every committee will have equal numbers. And you have demonstrated that you people are not honest. You are not being sincere to the people of this country. You are insensitive to the feeling of the people of this country. We will not cooperate in anything, and our leadership indicated that. Look, we are going to demand the percentage, the number on every issue, and see whether you can govern. You can't govern, so tell...
But that's the problem, taking entrenched positions now. It's going to harm us.
They should tell their ignorant followers, those they are deceiving.
Listen, I'm sorry, but I mean, now it's too much.
I apologize, but they should tell... I apologize, but I'm saying that they should tell their following, their members, that they can govern if we want to make this country ungovernable.
But that's the problem. We need you to deliberate.
That is why we were willing and prepared. That is why, Bella,
I see these as threats.
Bella, that is why we're willing and prepared to engage. And what they have demonstrated to us is that they care less about what we do. We are going to have appropriation, and at every committee, we will vote on every issue. Let's see what happened.
Well, the regular Ghanaian is the one who suffers. And by the way, I hope government is listening to the persons with disabilities who went on demonstration yesterday because they have not been paid and they lost their jobs.
No problem. You see,
Echo, you guys should do something about the persons with disabilities who are not sure, because we were promised that they'll be reassigned after the toll booths were closed. Nothing has happened. We don't know the way forward.
I get the indication that
do something about it.
Yes, I get the indication that something will be done about it.
No problem. All right. Well, we're looking forward to how to do that. And good morning, Akosia. I apologize. I mean, I wasn't sure if you were the one who had sent the message. Akosia, by the way, is the current Deputy CEO of the National Youth Authority. She sends that message early, and hopefully one of these days we can engage you on the show. Akosia, Deputy, yes.
Are they recruiting? What have they been doing with the man?
I've been speaking to Honorable Echo Vincent Esefua. He is currently the MP for Old Tafo constituency, and the MP for Tamale Central, Comrade Mutala Mohammed. They have been my guests on the show today. And like I mentioned earlier, later we'll be having that conversation with the Deputy Minority Whip Ibrahim Ahmed on the show to discuss matters arising in Parliament. So keep watching. This is TV3 New Day, but this is how we end the big issue right here on the show. But New Day continues. We'll be back with more.
Welcome once again.